dares... Oh, it's Karina. Karina dares message me while I'm filming. How dare she? Hey guys, it's the nerd half of this Nerdtroverts duo, and today I'm doing a reading wrap up. So it's been a while since I have done a reading wrap up, but I'm at the end of October and I have read 7 books. So of these 7 books, 6 of them are uni books and only one I have read for pleasure. So I still miscounted because one book has 2 books in it, and that would be Alice's Adventures in Wonderland and Through the Looking Glass, both by Lewis Carroll. If you've never heard of Alice in Wonderland, you haven't been missing much. I had high expectations of this book because of all the movies and all the talk about how great it is in the world and stuff, and I was just like really disappointed. It's pretty basic and I would not have liked this as a kid. Basically it's about this girl called Alice who falls down a rabbit hole and finds herself in this unusual land where she goes exploring and she meets unusual creatures and everything is nonsense and nonsense makes sense. And it's a great concept, but I just didn't enjoy it in the way that I was expecting to. And Through the Looking Glass is very similar. She goes through through a mirror instead of down a hole and finds herself in like an opposite world where nonsense makes sense and sense is nonsense, that sort of thing. Which I just am not a fan of in books, I guess. I think I like things having structure. The next book that I read was The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe by C.S. Lewis. So this obviously is a Narnia book, and if you've never heard of it, it is about these 4 siblings who go through a wardrobe in this house to find this magical land of Narnia, and their arrival has been prophesied and they are to meet the great lion Aslan and stop the evil witch. And this is exactly what I wish I had read as a child. I don't know why I never did, but it's such a great book, and it's, you know, like it's nothing fancy because it is children's literature, but I just love the atmosphere and I love the characters. I think that they were really interesting. You know, they had flaws, but they were good. The next book that I read was Coraline by Neil Gaiman. This is the book that I never read before now, and a movie that I never watched, simply because I don't like creepy things, and this book was meant to be really creepy, and I think that it is, but I think as an adult it's not as creepy as it would have been to me as a child. I loved Coraline. I kind of wish I had read this before, but I don't think I would have enjoyed it before. I love Coraline and her independence, and the things that she goes through in this book are just, they're great. I mean, they're not great to her, but the way that it's explored and the way that it's done, I think, is done in a really, really great way. So Coraline, if you don't know, is this young girl who finds this door in her house that leads to nowhere. But one day she opens it up and it has a long hallway and it leads to the other house where she has another mother and another father. And her other mother wants her to stay with them forever, so the other mother kidnaps her real parents, and Coraline has to fight the other mother and save her parents and also save the other children in the process. And it's all about Coraline being her own hero, but a great book, and I don't think you need to be a child to enjoy it. Next is yet another uni book that I read that I absolutely hated, and that is Waiting by Philip Salom. If you've never heard of this book, I'm not surprised. This is an Australian author, so it's an Australian novel, so if you're not in Australia, you probably have never even seen this book in your life, and that's fine. It was like runner-up for some prize or something, but I don't know why. So this book is about 2 sets of people whose lives are vastly different, but it's about how their lives are similar and how they come together, and it's all about them waiting for this news and waiting in life. But it just sucked. I think the big problem for me was the writing style. The way it was written really took me out of it, and I really, really disliked. I'm not going to get into it too much now, but I'll leave my Goodreads review linked below, because my Goodreads review is actually, I had to do like a 10-minute speech, I guess, on this, and I took the transcript from that and posted it because I just ripped into this book like no other. I hated this book. Next book that I read is by another Australian author, and that is Lotus Blue by Kat Sparks. This is a debut novel, and I really hate to say it, but you can tell it's a debut novel. There are so many fundamental problems with this. Not in the story itself. The story itself, I think, had great potential. I think this book has great potential. I just think it needs a serious rewrite, because there are like 6 or 7 focalizing characters and different point of views that I just don't know who anyone was. Their characters were not distinguished enough for all these different point of views to make sense. The only character that I really knew was the protagonist, Star, and even then I didn't know much about her as a character because she barely had a point of view, even though she was the protagonist, which I think was probably the biggest issue. So Lotus Blue is about this girl called Star, who is a part of this traveling nomad group in the desert with her sister Nini, and this is a sci-fi book, so it's like set in the future and there's all this technology and like the world was at war and stuff. Typical sci-fi stuff. But Nini has kept a huge secret from Star her whole life that changes everything, and it's all about why she kept the secret, what the secret means, and how it affects Star. And like I said, this book has great potential, but I just don't know if it's worth struggling through the writing style for the story. And I honestly wasn't that impressed by the ending. And it was written as a standalone, but I don't feel the satisfaction I should get at the end of a standalone. It had potential, just failed on the follow through. And the last book that I have read for this wrap up is They Both Die at the End by Silvera. I love this book so much. I gave this 5 out of 5 stars. I didn't tell you the ratings for the other ones because I forgot. But this one I know I gave 5 out of 5 stars because I read this a couple days ago. And I love it. I cannot wait to read more from Silvera. It's going to be the best. I love this book so much. And because of that, I also kind of hate it. Why would he do that? Why? But I still love it, and it made sense for his character. And the character arc and everything, but I'm just pissed. That's what happened. I'm just pissed. My friend threw her book, which is actually this book. She threw it when she read it. So that's how much you connect to these characters and love these characters in the story, that you're angry enough to throw the book. And not because like it's bad writing or bad story, but just because it sucks. But if you don't know what They Both Die at the End is, it's about these 2 boys called Rufus and Mateo who get a call at midnight saying that they're going to die that day. It's not like an ominous like murder call, like you're gonna die today. It's like there's this new thing in society, I guess, where they know who's gonna die what day, but they only find out on the day of that they're going to die. And so on their end day, for whatever reason, they both find themselves alone and wanting a friend. And so they join this app called the Last Friend app, where you can connect to other people who are also dying that day and live your last days together. And so Rufus and Mateo meet through this app, and it's all about these 2 boys who are very different but so similar, experiencing their last day and just living. And also having a bit of a whirlwind romance as well, chuck that in there, but it's done so beautifully and like integrated so subtly that like it's not like, oh what, and it's not like, oh my god, so much romance. Like it's just done so well that it makes sense at the end for them to have this romance. And it's also really cute. So that is all of the books I have read up until now since my last wrap up. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please comment down below the books that you guys have been reading, and if you've read any of these books, what you think. Give it a thumbs up because I crave validation. And subscribe so you can see more videos. I am pre-filming a whole bunch because I go away to America soon and I'm taking Karina with me. So hopefully there'll be more collab stuff. Don't hold us to that, but do hold us to that because I really want to film some collab stuff with her. So that is all. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I guess I'll see you guys in the next video. Wonderful to be a collab. Bye guys!